Recently, I saw the most recent installment in the Halloween franchise, Halloween 2018. This film is a direct sequel to the original film, which I haven't seen. It's actually canon because it just got a bit messy after Halloween 4. This takes place 40 years after the original, where Michael is shot off the balcony in the original. He is put into a mental institution. He escapes while being transferred and is back to his babysitter killing ways. Except, I don't think there's actually any babysitters in this, so shut up. This is the second horror film I've seen, the first of which being The Shining, because most films are 18s because they have lots of boobies, and you don't want to watch an 18 because of boobies. However, unlike Friday the 13th or Carrie 1976, this is not an 18 for its sex and nudity, or Saw or Texas Chainsaw Massacre for its extreme violence. I mean, extreme violence, you've freaking seen Saw? You ever heard of the concept of Saw? This is an 18 for frightening and intense scenes, according to IMDb. Now, there are many frightening and horrifying and other things that mean scary that end with ing that I can't think of right now. Scenes in Halloween 2018, such as horny Oscars.
Seriously, I got really horny at the party and all these girls were dancing on me. Their beautiful bodies got me all chubbed out, Allison. Allison, please, they were feeding me guacamole in all these sexy ways.
Death, using motion sensor lights to build tension as Michael moves around to stab him, only to chase him to the gate where he gets stabbed by Myers. When Allison comes back to look for Oscar, only to see him pinned to the gate with his chin impaled on the spikes like Simon Skinner in Hot Fuzz. With John Carpenter's epic score playing in the background, Michael comes around from the gate, bloody knife in hand. Allison screams and runs to a neighbor's house. Perhaps, in fact, the opening scene where two podcast producers go to Michael's insane asylum. They bring out the mask in the yard, when inmates and guard dogs begin screaming, barking, crying. Aaron keeps telling Michael to say something since he stands there in silence. As it gets louder and louder, the alarm starts blaring. Besides Michael, and it builds up until Aaron says, "Say something," really loud, which leads to the attack. But one scene that really helped me was the climax of the film. Laurie Strode's home invasion. After Allison is picked up after running away from Oscar's murder, Laurie takes her daughter, Karen, and Karen's husband, Ray, to her not-so-humble abode. Karen reveals the secret basement under the island unit, and they retreat inside and are given some guns out of Laurie's stockpile. After the cop is killed by the doctor who treated Michael, the doctor drives Allison to Laurie's house with Michael in back with her. He explains his obsession with Michael, and she tricks him into pulling over by saying that she heard Michael say something. She soon pegs it after learning that Michael has aroused from his slumber after being hit by the car. Michael then steps on the doctor's head so hard that his brain splats all over the road. I mean, I can't show it on YouTube, but I mean, look at it. Luckily, and yet unluckily at the same time, they are close to Laurie's house, which lets Allison escape to safety, but also lets Michael get to Laurie. Laurie and Karen have a somber and emotional scene together in which they express their love before Ray sees the police cruiser and their two cop buddies / bodyguards were in. He opens the door to see the literal penknife the doctor had to kill the officer with from earlier stuck in one officer's head, and the other decapitated and a police flashlight being used as a jack-o'-lantern made of people. Yay! Ray stumbles back only to encounter Michael, who subsequently kills him. Karen rushes into the basement to hide while Laurie guards the door. She is grabbed and nearly killed by Michael, but escapes by shooting his fingers off with a shotgun, and follows Karen into the basement. When they hear Michael enter the house, Laurie fires a rogue shot, leaving her with a hole in her floor and an exposed position. After realizing this, Laurie moves upstairs to, quote, finish the job, And this is the horrifying moment. Complete silence surrounds Laurie. She creeps through the house. Most films put some creepy violin or piano music in this bit, but no. All we hear are breathing and footsteps. She first suspects that Michael is hiding in the sliding cupboard like in the first film. She quickly opens it. Nothing. A small piece of violin music plays through him as if it's teasing a jump scare, but it doesn't. It simply closes. Laurie hears something in another room and walks into it. It's bare of everything besides a fireplace in one corner and a window in another. However, no Michael. After sufficiently scanning the room, Laurie closes the door with her barricades. We see Cameron gasp in shock as she doesn't know what's going on. Perhaps the corpse of her dead mother just hit the floor. She doesn't know. She advances onto another room. Same thing. Nothing in the room. To be safe, barricades the door behind her. We then cut back to Allison, but the shot is dumb and breaks the pace of the scene, so I'm just going to ignore it. Laurie starts to advance to the blood-ridden upstairs. Once again, nothing but breathing and footsteps as she makes her way to follow the blood. She finds no one in the first room she scans. She takes a breather before moving into the next room. The plethora of mannequins she's a photographer practice for the day when Michael comes when she kills Michael. She follows a trail of blood in a sliding closet. She quickly turns back to the mannequins and slowly walks over. She throws her off the balcony where she disappears after Michael is distracted by the calls of Allison entering the house. Karen lets her into the basement and Karen acquires a gun with her initials on it. The excellent soundtrack by John Carpenter playing in the background as Michael throws over the island unit. The music stops and Karen acts feared because Michael isn't coming to get them.
Mom! Help us! I can't do it! I'm sorry, I can't do it! Gotcha.
Laurie turns up from behind and stabs Michael and throws him downstairs. She lets the gas leak and throws her flare into the basement, letting Michael burn. They leave the house and are picked up by random hitchhikers. We see the basement being burnt with no Michael in sight. The last shot of the film, and this momentous scene, is in the car, with Allison holding the bloody knife. There are a lot of things that make this scene and this movie in general for me. Suspense, lack of music for most of it, the acting, the action, the pacing, the writing, the direction, all of it combines together to make one horrifying moment. Hello everyone, and welcome to the completely non-scripted part of the video. This is going to be my new outro. I made it in PowerPoint. Do you like it? Probably not. So thank you to Matt Draper for doing this One Horrifying Moment thing. It's pretty good as a playlist, all of the creators. He didn't invite me onto it, but I just went along and did it anyway. So if you want to get on the playlist, you can contact Matt on Twitter, and you might get on the playlist if you make a video. I made a video. It'd be something you dweebs aren't making a video and just contacting him on Twitter for the hell of it, but you know. Anyway, so I do hope you enjoyed this video. Halloween is available on Netflix if you're interested in watching it, along with no other good horror movies. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.